Welcome back to another Sunday prep day. Every Sunday I prepare all my veggies for the week and I make some other things that take a bit longer. Like today I'm going to make some coleslaw and I'm going to make some hummus, some barbecue sauce and some pulled chicken. So I'm just cutting up some celery. That's going to go in some risotto. And I'll go over my menu. So for lunch today, I'm going to have some bao buns that I just bought in the store. So, and then for dinner, I'm going to have some sauerkraut stamppot. So sauerkraut mashed with potatoes. I'll probably add some bacon and I'll have some sausage with it. And then for Monday, meatless Monday, I'm going to have my hummus with some crudités. So I have different colored peppers. I have different colored carrots. I have some cucumber. I'll just cut those into little sticks to go with my homemade hummus. And then for dinner, I'm going to do a stir fry with some fake chicken. I bought that recently when I had a coupon for some vegan and vegetarian things. So I think it's already marinated in like a teriyaki kind of sauce. So I'll just do, I think I'll do noodles. I could do some rice. I don't know yet. And that's the good thing about prepping ingredients and not dishes. I can just change that if I want to. But yeah, I'll just have that with plenty of veggies. Then on Tuesday, I'm going to have some coleslaw, I think with some chicken. And then for dinner, I'm going to do some tacos. And I'm going to use some of that pulled chicken that I made. I'm just cutting up an onion nice and fine for the coleslaw, among other things. I'll probably also do a little salsa for Wednesday. Okay, first for lunch, I'm going to do some stir fry, low carb stir fry with, instead of noodles or rice, I'm going to use some broccoli stems. And then for dinner, I'm going to do that pulled pork again, but instead of tacos, I'm going to do like a rice bowl. And that's where, like I said, I'll probably have a little salsa on the side. So I need some finely diced onion for that as well. And then we're on Thursday already. Let me just quickly peek at my list again. Yes. I'll probably have some pulled chicken left over, so I'll have that with some coleslaw. This I'll do in a bigger container, because I'll make my coleslaw in there. And then for dinner, I'm going to do some risotto. I'm going to do some baby spinach with that. Maybe some snow peas. We'll just have a little look. And then we're on Friday already. For lunch, I'm going to do some coleslaw with some, probably some salmon. And for dinner, I'm going to have a stir fry with some fish. I'll probably use some basa for that. So I'm just still working on these onions. So quickly finish that. And whatever I don't use for the salsa or something, I'll just add in my my stir fries. I have one more red onion that I'm just going to cut into little strips. And that's going to be for the stir fries as well. So I'll just cut that like that. That doesn't need to be too fine. There we go. And then I have 2 yellow onions as well. I'm going to use some for my barbecue sauce and some for my pulled chicken. So I'll just cut both into little ribbons like that. What would you guys think about another live stream again sometime? It's been a while since I've done one. So, and what would you like to see me do? It would be probably around the time where these videos usually go up, so late afternoon Dutch time, early morning American time. Just let me know if you'd like to see that, and what kind of questions you might have for me to answer, or subjects to talk about during a live stream, and what times would work best. And in the meantime, while you think about that, I am going to chop up some garlic that's going to go in the stir fries, in the risotto, in my hummus, and in the salsa. So I'm just cutting it quite rough now, and I'll just run my knife through. That's the quickest way, because I don't need it super fine. And then for the stir fries, I also want some leek. So I'm just going to cut the top off and just cut this nice and fine. I'm not going to use the whole leek, but enough for 1 or 2 stir fries, just for the color. That should be enough. What are we going to do next? Let's do some carrots. So I have a whole bunch of different colors. So I have these yellow and purple ones. I will peel those real quick, because these have a reasonably thick skin. And then I'll just cut off the ends. And depending on the thickness, I'm gonna half them or quarter them, like lengthwise. So these purple ones are pretty narrow, so I think halving them is enough. These yellow or white, what would you call them? They're a bit thicker, so I'll just do those in quarters. And then these regular orange carrots, I'm gonna take 2 small ones, and they're pretty narrow as well, so I'll cut them in half lengthwise. And that would be nice to dip my hummus in. Then I have some bigger carrots, and I have my trusty julienne slicer here, so I'm just gonna slice these for my coleslaw. I could do this by hand, but since I have this julienne slicer, it just goes a lot quicker. Actually, I think I'll do one more, because these are quite small. There we go. And then I have 2 more carrots that I'm just going to cut into little medallions for my stir fries. Next, we'll do some cucumber. So I'll cut the ends off, and then cut it into a couple of thick slices. Turn that around, and then cut them this way, so you have nice little sticks and the heart. That doesn't really dip very well, so I'm just gonna snack on those. So that's 2 of these Persian cucumbers. So while we're on the hummus stuff. Let's do some peppers as well. So I just have a whole bunch of different colors. I have a yellow, I have orange, I have green, I have red. Just gonna cut some nice sticks. Probably about half a pepper of each color. We'll go into strips like that. And the rest I'll just cut into cubes for things like my stir fry. And I'll just repeat that for the other colors. And there we go. That should add a nice amount of color. And then I have some chilies. So I'm just going to leave the seeds in because they're not very spicy. And these are just going to go in things like the salsa, the stir fries. I'll probably throw some in with the pulled chicken. And then we have a potato that will be for tonight's stamppot with sauerkraut. So I'm just gonna peel it real quick and I'll just cut that into chunks so I can boil those tonight. Next up, I have some broccoli stem here. So I'm just gonna cut the very end off because those got a little dry because I saved these from like last week or the week before. And then I will just first cut the smaller bits off, and when I get to the big stem, I'm gonna cut it in half. And then in quarters lengthwise and just chop that up. I could go even finer, like turn it into broccoli rice by just grating it, but this is fine enough for what I need it for. And this is a good way to use up some broccoli stems that you might otherwise throw away because there's a lot of flavor in them, a lot of fiber. And they can be very tender if you steam them or stir fry them. So, waste not, want not. And then I have some cabbage. I'm just gonna quarter that, cut the little heart out, and then slice that nice and thin. And I'll just add that to the carrots and the onions to make the coleslaw in a moment. Break it up a little bit. And I have a little bit left over, too much to put in my coleslaw. So let's just cut that up for my stir fries. Give a nice pop of color with that purple. Alright, and now we'll start preparing everything else. So first, I'll get my Ninja Foodi preheating on saute. Add a little bit of oil. And while we wait for that to heat up, we'll just make the coleslaw. So I'm gonna add a bit of mayo. I'll add some mustard, a pinch of salt, and some pepper. And we'll just quickly mix that up. And we'll give that a little taste. And that is absolutely spot on. In the meantime, the Ninja Foodi is nice and hot, so I'm gonna add some of my onions, a little bit of garlic. Let's throw in some chili as well, a pinch of salt to help that saute. And while that is sweating away, we'll get some barbecue sauce started. So I'm going to put this little pan on the heat. I'll add a little bit of oil. And I'll sweat the rest of my onions in there. And a little bit of garlic as well, with a pinch of salt. And while these vegetables soften, I'm just going to quickly clean up a bit. Now to the Ninja Foodi, I'm going to add just a splash of apple cider vinegar. And I'll add some water. And here I have 2 chicken breasts. Add those. And then add the pressure cook lid. Close the valve. And switch this to pressure cook. It could just slow cook this, but I have a Ninja Foodi that does slow cook and pressure cook, and it's just a lot easier with filming and editing if I just get it over with. So, chicken, I'll do probably 25 minutes. That should be enough to have the chicken fall apart tender. So, here for my barbecue sauce, I'll turn the heat down a bit. My onions and garlic have softened, so I will add some tomato puree. And I'll just quickly cook that through because, as you know, tomato puree can have that raw flavor. Just want to get rid of that. So I'm just going to saute it for a minute. And in the meantime, I'm just going to drain my can of chickpeas. I'm going to add a little bit of apple cider vinegar. And some smoked paprika. A little bit of cayenne for some kick. And just a little splash of water. How much water you add kind of depends on how thick you want it to be in the end. You can always add more water. And I'm just going to add a little bit of sweetener. You could use sugar, but I want to keep it low carb because I want to have this for some lunches. So I'm just using a sweetener instead. That will make it kind of bright red instead of that dark color that you associate with the barbecue sauce, because the brown sugar usually does that. And I'll also add a little splash of Worcestershire sauce. Just give that a quick taste. Needs a little bit more sweetness. I've never used this exact sweetener before, so I wasn't entirely sure how sweet it was. And it's always best to add a little less than you plan on, just in case, because you can always add more. And I also want to add a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Yeah, that's quite nice. A little tangy, a little spicy, just the way I like it. So I'm just gonna put the lid on, heat on low, and just let that simmer for a little bit, make the onion really soft, and then I'll just puree that at the end. And then here I have my drained chickpeas. So just add a pinch of salt to that. And I also want to add some harissa seasoning, just for some kick. I like trying different kinds of hummus with different seasonings. I will need some lemon juice. And then here I have some tahine, which is sesame paste. I'm just going to give that a stir because it always separates so the oil is on top. So I just want to mix that through. And I'll add about 1 or 2 tablespoons to the hummus. That will make it nice and creamy. And now we just give this a quick blitz. I'll scrape the sides a bit and do that again, and we'll just keep pulsing it until it's really nice and smooth. And if it's a little bit dry, you can add a splash of water or some oil to help it along. Give it a little taste. That's nice and creamy. It does need a little bit more salt. And I'll just add a little bit more harissa seasoning. Yeah, that's some really good hummus. So I can just store this in the fridge. That will be my lunch for tomorrow. And the barbecue sauce I can just turn off. And the pressure cooker is doing its thing. So I'm gonna clean up and I'll see you in a bit. All right, the barbecue sauce has cooked through completely. So I'm just gonna use my stick blender and get that nice and fine because I have the fresh garlic and onion in there. You could use a garlic powder or onion powder, then you would skip this step, but I like having the real thing in there. All right, I'm just gonna let that cool off a bit. And I still have a little bit of time left on the chicken, so back in a moment. All right, the chicken is done. I just took it out of the Ninja Foodi, and I'm just gonna use 2 forks to shred it. And there we go. I'll just let that cool down, and I can serve that with the barbecue sauce and probably some corn or something for my pulled pork tacos and my pulled pork rice bowl. So that's it. That's everything ready for the week. I can now have lunch or dinner on the table in minutes. And if you like this, I do this every Sunday. So leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching. Until next time, bye for now.